Music Festival in Decentraland, which took place this November and hosted more than 200 artists. And at the end of the video I'll try to answer this simple question: is this metaverse suitable for concerts or not? But before we do get started, make sure to hit that subscribe and like button, it is greatly appreciated as always. And with that being said, let's get into the video. So the festival is called Decentraland Metaverse Music Festival 2022 or MVMF, and it had 15 zones, each with its own stage and a dance floor. MVMF had its own schedule, so each location had its own time for the show, and the rest of the time nothing happened there. I came to the opening of the festival while there were only 5 zones available. Some of them looked like regular clubs in reality with stages and screens, but others had an unusual look. Let's take the Dylan Francis location as an example. It's a bright and colorful space with an unusual building. Each floor is different from the other and has its own visual style and even its own type of ladders. And the music set was right, I think. There were pop hits from the last few years. And later I visited the Japanese location called Meta Tokyo, and it looked Japanese. I mean, just look at these robots and dancing characters. Next there was another interesting location called Main Stage. The creators combined the styles of cyberpunk and nature in this location. They also added visual effects for the show. And the other festival locations weren't so interesting to the audience. I mean, most of them were empty, and I think I know why. These locations didn't have an unusual look and the music wasn't as popular as in the other locations. In addition to separate locations, the OzzFest Metal Festival was hosted by the Decentraland Metaverse Music Festival. This is one of the largest metal festivals, which this time was held in a digital format for the first time. Its organizers announced the performance of the legends such as Ozzy Osbourne and Megadeth. Even Motorhead performed on it, although the band had already broken up a long time ago. And I want to talk about OzzFest in more detail. The OzzFest organizers created a gothic castle for the festival. A round stage with a large screen was installed inside it, and visitors could walk around that stage during the show. And on the top floor there was a small museum of Ozzy with the OzzFest posters. This castle also had an NFT store. You could buy t-shirts and hoodies for your avatar there, but the design of these NFTs was too simple, I think. It was just the names of the bands. At least they didn't cost too much due to the money exchange rate. Just like in reality, the OzzFest had a VIP zone. It was available for the NFT holders from the Ozzy Osbourne NFT collection called Crypto Bats. They received a potion which transformed them into bats so they could fly to a private balcony. In the press release, Ozzy Osbourne talked about moving into the metaverse and mentioned the interaction with the audience, so visitors expected to see a show with 3D avatars and some interactive quests. And in the end, visitors could see most of the bands on the screen only. It showed records from concerts over the past years or music videos, and it looked strange cause you can watch music videos on YouTube. You don't have to go to virtual platforms for this. I mean, people are coming to these platforms to see a show and take part in some interactions, and the only thing the organizers recorded for Decentraland especially were NFT ads from the artists which you could see between the music videos. But the festival still had 3D models of the performers. First, Ozzy Osbourne himself was there. His 3D model looked quite like him, but the problem was with its movements, which didn't fit the metal show at all. It had only one shot and looped animation that didn't fit into the music like at all, and looking at his movements, I didn't want to start dancing or slamming as it happens to me at real concerts. During his performance there were also specially recorded audio messages to the audience, but the avatar itself was lagging a lot at such moments. The second 3D model at OzzFest was the avatar of Lemmy, the Motorhead frontman who died in 2015, and the audience was especially happy to see him cause they could see him on the stage again. And I think that the virtual concerts of the deceased musicians are very promising. I mean, the only place you can see them is the virtual space. Other than that, there were no special quests or interactions at OzzFest, as well as animations for user avatars that would fit the metal concert, so the audience had to simply stand and watch the show. Only a few people jumped or danced during the show, and most of the avatars didn't move for several hours and remained standing even after the end of the festival. So I think that the owners left them, opened another tab in the web browser and left the Decentraland tab somewhere out there. And I think it had something to do with the OzzFest's schedule. I mean, a single performance lasted only 20 minutes, and next there was a black screen or the festival logo for the next 40 minutes. Let me say that again, each time you had to wait 40 minutes for the next band to arrive, and while you wait you had nothing to do, like at all, absolutely no activities for the users whatsoever. And that's why most of the avatars just stood there, and I don't see a reason for such breaks. I mean, bands are changing and setting up the equipment during these breaks on the stage of the festivals in reality. But this is a metaverse, not to mention that breaks are usually not so long in reality. So basically I wanted to see a more spectacular show with smooth animations and some kind of interaction. I mean, it's a virtual platform and a virtual festival, and here some kind of interaction with performers or other users directly suggests itself. I mean, you can use lots of formats when you run a virtual concert. You can use videos recorded especially for the virtual platform, not just some music videos from YouTube. Or you can create interactive activities with the audience which would be impossible in reality. Or you can use a live broadcast from the studio. And all the formats that I just listed have been around for many years, and you don't need some sophisticated technologies for them. The bottom line is that music shows can be ran in the metaverse. Let's take Fortnite as an example. Fortnite has proven this more than once with its collaborations with celebrities, so I think that organizers should choose more technologically advanced platforms to create a real show, and Decentraland is clearly not ready for this, for now at least. And let me know in the comments which virtual concerts have you been to. It's interesting to hear your thoughts about Decentraland and other metaverses as a platform for concerts. And that basically wraps it up for today's video, so hopefully you did enjoy or found value in today's video, and if you did, make sure to hit that subscribe and like buttons, it is greatly appreciated as